Just like our body, intellect, creativity, emotions, even vocational component is also developing. There are a lot of discussions to be held on that. Actually, vocational guidance is fixing a right man in a right position. The demand of the concern, vocation, and the ability of an individual should be matched and sent to them. Now, what are the methods of developing ability? It is the science that develops ability, because human ability is related to intellectual development. The intellect is controlled by emotions, creativity, socialization, other factors. Jean Piaget conducted an experiment. My humble suggestion is, if you understand your own intellect, how it is developed, you can select a good goal, select an occasion. Therefore, I am making an analysis about that. There are four stages of intellectual development. Namma deha beladage huttu, balya, yovana, mattu muppu iddagene, the intellectual development takes place at four stages. First stage is called the sensory motor stage, where you learn in the lap of the mother by suckling and gripping. The next stage is called the pre-operational stage of intellectual development, where you learn language, measurement, movement, so that you prepare yourself for the future life. The third stage is an important stage, which extends itself from the first standard up to PUC 2. That stage of intellectual development is called the concrete operational stage of intellectual development. During the process of, there are 120 abilities that are developed as a national or international standard. In India, we are trying to develop at least about 80 abilities out of them. In primary schools, we have worked under Chandrasekhar for development of 12 abilities in this school. We don't have time to go into that. Anyhow, at the concrete operation stage, the ability development starts. In the beginning, at the concrete operation stage, all the abilities remain concrete, which can be reached by sensory perception. Idu sensory activity mele agodu. Touch, feel mele agodu. As soon as the schooling is over, when most of the abilities that are acquired by an individual, then he enters into a stage called formal operational process of intellectual development. What is the difference between the two? If the concrete operational stage of intellectual development is not complete, the individual cannot reach the formal operational stage. I will give you an example for that. There was a lady who was serving curds for us. She would give curds in terms of measures and put a dot on the wall. After the week, she would come and stand before my father. She would count the number of dots and 25 paisas and give him the money. But she would go out, keep all 25 paisas in an order, match the dots with this, and get satisfied and take the money, because she could not calculate. The lady was already an adult, but her intellectual ability remained at the first standard. What is the message? All the intellectual abilities are to be developed at the concrete operation stage, then get into the formal operation stage, get the training there, and develop those abilities. There is a perfect match between science and ability development. Somebody asked a scientist, who gave you the method of science? The scientist said, I learnt it from the child. The child develops observation, learns around the world around it. What is intelligence? What is the latest meaning of intelligence? Understanding the world around us. IQ, GQ ಅಂತೆಲ್ಲ ಹೊರಟೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ ಇವಾಗ. ನಮ್ಮ ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತಲಿನ ವಾತಾವರಣವನ್ನು ಯಾರು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಅರ್ಥೈಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾನೋ ಅವನೇ ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತ. This is the definition given by Jean Piaget, a Swiss psychologist. So intellectual ability and the method of science, they match together. And here in Vijaya High School, Vijaya institutions, we have done a lot of experiments between 70s and 80s under his leadership. And one of the directors of DSART, Mr. Ponnappa, we developed a spectrum of methodology to develop these abilities. I am not going in detail. I will give you I want to impress upon that your science abilities are very important for life. If these abilities are not there, you will not succeed in life. If you want to succeed in commerce, if you want to learn history, if you want to be a sociologist, if you want to be a doctor, if you want to be a technologist, These abilities are to be there. Therefore, those subjects also, they have changed over, they are calling themselves as science. Called political science antare. Methodology of science is divided with that. Now, science subject is not important. Science learned through the method of science is very important. In the beginning, child learns only observation and classification. ಅದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಸುಮ್ಮ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ನನಗೆ ಟೈಮ್ ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ ಅಷ್ಟು, ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಅದನ್ನು ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ. ದೆನ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ದ ಚೈಲ್ಡ್ ಲರ್ನ್ಸ್ ಟು ಕ್ವಶನ್, observation, classification and questioning. I'll tell you how classification and discrimination becomes very important for raising questions. Let's say that we are walking in the 4th block. Amitabh Bachchan is walking there. Suddenly our eyes scan all the Bangaloreans. They are all similar. These are all Bangaloreans. And focus only Amitabh Bachchan. That shows we have got an operation called taking out the similarities and taking out dissimilarities. Whenever there is a discrimination, your mind will ask a question. How is that Amitabh Bachchan has come here? As soon as you get a question in your mind, the mind will not keep quiet. It will start answering. Perhaps he has come for a shooting. Perhaps he is purchasing something. Perhaps he is searching for some. It goes on giving you the answers. This is nothing but the laboratory observation, collection of data, classification, raising questions on data. The difference between us and the scientist is, scientists ask questions even on similarities. Every day sun rises in the east, why ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋದು ಯಾಕೆ, ಹೇಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು? ನಾಳೆ ಸೂರ್ಯ ಪೂರ್ವದಲ್ಲಿ ಹುಡ್ತಾನೆ, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು? ಬೈ ಇಂಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಲಾಜಿಕ್ ಗೊತ್ತು. ಮೊನ್ನೆ ಹುಡ್ದ, ನಿನ್ನೆ ಹುಡ್ದ, ಇವತ್ತು ಹುಡ್ದ, ದೇವರಾಣೆ ನಾಳೆ ಹುಡ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂತ. ಆದರೆ ಸೈಂಟಿಸ್ಟ್ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡೋದು ಸಿಮಿಲಾರಿಟೀಸ್ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. Eclipse ಬಂದರೆ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. Similarities and differences he questions and learns. That is an ability. Therefore, observation, classification, communicating it, raising an inquiry question, selection of all hypotheses. In hypothesis there will be variables. The variables are to be controlled. Each hypothesis is to be tested, accepting the truth, giving the application. These are the abilities that are developed over a period of time, right from 1st standard up to 11th standard in schools. It is very unfortunate that the experiments done in Vijaya High School, in Bangalore High School, Vijaya Teachers College, over a period of time, which we suggested the methodologies to the Department of Public Instruction also. Some of the methodologies were used. Of late, it has become a practice to teach only science subject without the method of science. It is very unfortunate the PUC level, only theory of science is taught. The practicals are very simple. Practicals ಏನು, ಒಂದು ಪೌಡರ್ ತಗೋ, ನೀರು ಹಾಕೋ, ಕಾಯಿಸೋ, ಅದು ಲೈಮ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಮಿಲ್ಕಿ ಆದರೆ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಡೈಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್. ವೆರಿ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಗಿವನ್ ಟು ಜೈಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಎ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ, ಚಿಲ್ಡ್ರನ್ ಆಫ್ ಎ ಜೈಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಎ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ, ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಚಾಲೆಂಜಿಂಗ್. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಏನೂ ಕಲೀಲಿಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ಗೂ ನಮ್ಮ ಥಿಂಕಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ಗೂ ಎರಡೂ ಸಂಬಂಧ ಇದೆ. The stimulation of thinking process, the ability development to think and solve the problems is given by method of science only. So, unless the method of science is learned well, you will not learn any subject. Now, I am not telling you not to go to commerce at all. Learn science, method of science. Apply that to commerce and you become a success. But my appeal to you is that we are a country which has more number of scientists than any other country. We are the number of scientists are dwindling. In a country where you have scientists born by their own efforts. Macaulay bandmele, he introduced only language, English language, vernacular, mathematics and history or social studies. I started learning science in 8th standard, general science. That was almost in 1960s. In 1970s, science was introduced very seriously. Even without the training of science in schools, many scientists came up in this country. After introduction of science in schools and colleges, we have supplied almost scientists to all of the country. One survey madadru. I was writing a science book. I was an author for 10th standard textbook. One Japanese girl came and asked me, "Sir, how is that Students from Basangudi, Malleshwaram, T Nagar, Pune, and some other place in Orissa. Those children go all over the world and succeed as scientists, doctors, engineers, software company. And they ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು, how is that? What is the secret of that? Anta. I gave them 3 answers. One was that they are mother's children. In these areas, Basangudi, Malleshwaram, you should see how mother takes care of them in the beginning. They are mother's children. Second one, they are culturally educated at home. Raja Ramanna was introduced in the TV. The TV anchor, that lady asked Raja Ramanna, Mr. Raja Ramanna, your mother is an illiterate, you are a celebrity scientist, how? ನಾನು ಬೇಗ ಹೇಳೋದು ಟೈಮ್ಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಅವ್ರು ನಿಧಾನವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. Raja Ramanna said, take back your words. My mother is not illiterate. My mother is an English illiterate. In our country, much of the training goes on at home. Culture gives us most of the training. We learn English and science in schools ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. ಅಂದರೆ this country has an ability to learn science. It has an ability to supply science to other countries. It has an ability to transfer science into technology. We are only aim is to challenge China in technology and win over. At that time, when science stream is drying away, nobody is taking science, then your original ability of science is lost. Science without method of science is useless. Even English teachers can teach science. Whatever may be the value of a negative, positive fraction or whatever the values of fraction, ಅಂತ ಡಿ ಮಾರ್ಸ್ ಥಿಯರಮ್ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದು, ಮೊಮೆಂಟಮ್ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದು. ನಮ್ಮ ಶಾಲೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆಥಡಾಲಜಿ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಆಯಿತು, ಕಾಂಕ್ರೀಟ್ ಆಪರೇಷನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಜಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೈನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಸಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. 1ನೇ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ ಚಂದ್ರಶೇಖರ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದರೆ, ಒಂದು ತಟ್ಟೆ ತಗೋ, ನೀರು ಹಾಕು, ಅರಿಶಿನ ಹಾಕು, ಕಲಕು, ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಬರೆಯೋನು. ಇವ್ರು ಇಟ್ಟಿದಾರೋ ಏನೋ ಬರೆದಿದ್ದಿಲ್ಲ ಅವರು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅಲ್ಲೊಂದು ನೀರಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಕಲರ್ಲೆಸ್ ವಾಟ್ರು, ಅದು ಹಾಕು, ಏನಾಯಿತು? ಕೆಂಪಗಾಯಿತು. ಸೊ ಹಳದಿ ನೀರು ಕೆಂಪಗಾಯಿತು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕಲರ್ ನೀರಿದೆ, ಅದು ಹಾಕು, ಮತ್ತೆ ಹಳದಿ ಆಯಿತು. ಅದೇ ಈ ಕಲರ್ಲೆಸ್ ಮೊದಲನೇ ನೀರು ಹಾಕಿದಾಗ ಕೆಂಪಗಾಯಿತು, ಕೆಂಪಗಾಯಿತು. ಎರಡನೇದು ಹಾಕಿದಾಗ ಮತ್ತೆ ಹಳದಿ ಆಯಿತು. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಟ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ದಿ ಯೆಲ್ಲೋ ಕಲರ್ ಇಂಟು ರೆಡ್ ಕಲರ್? ದೆನ್ ವಿ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಅನ್ ಆ್ಯಸಿಡ್. ಒಂದು ಸುಣ್ಣ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ಕೆಂಪಗಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅರ್ತಿನಲ್ಲಿ, ನಿಂಬೆಹಣ್ಣು ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಹಳದಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ನಿಂಬೆಹಣ್ಣು ಸುಣ್ಣವನ್ನು ಕಂಡಿಡಿಯೋಕ್ಕೆ ಅರಿಶಿನ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ ಮೆಥಡು. ಒಂದು ಟಮ್ಲರ್ ಅವ್ರು ಮಾಡಿರೋದು, ನಾನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಿಲ್ಲ ಇದು. ಒಂದು ಟಮ್ಲರು, ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಮಣ್ಣು ಹಾಕು, ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡು, ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ನೀರು ಹಾಕು. ಆ ಮಾರ್ಕನ್ನು ಇಳಿಯತ್ತ ಏರತ್ತ ನೋಡು. ನೀರು ಹಾಕಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗಬೇಕಲ್ಲ. ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಕಮ್ ಡೌನ್. What is the observation? Bubbles are coming out. Why did the bubbles come? There are worksheets in the labs even now. What are the bubbles? Air is coming out. When do you get bubbles? ನೀರಲ್ಲಿ ಊದು ಅಂದರೆ ಬಬಲ್ ಬರೋದು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದಿ ಕನ್ಕ್ಲೂಷನ್ ಈಸ್ ಸಾಯಿಲ್ ಆಸ್ ಏರ್ ಇನ್ ಇಟ್. ಈ ಥರ ಕಲಿಸಿದ್ದು ಲೋವರ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಕಾಂಕ್ರೀಟ್ ಸ್ಟೇಜಲ್ಲಿ. PUC ಸ್ಟೇಜಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಕಲಿಸ್ತಾರೆ? ದಿ ಕಾಂಕ್ರೀಟ್ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟು ಬಿಕಮ್ ಪ್ರೀ-ಆಪರೇಷನಲ್. ಕಾಂಕ್ರೀಟ್ ಆಪರೇಷನಲ್ structure of mind of science should become formal operational structure. Formal operation andro speed of thinking, speed of using the theory of science, logic, application of science. ಒಂದು ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ, ಇದೇ ಸ್ಕೂಲಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೆ ನಾನು. ಮೋಲ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ವಿ. ಚಾಕ್ ಪೀಸ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಬರೆದ್ವಿ, ವಿಜಯ ಹೈಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಅಂತ. ಮೊದಲು ಚಾಕ್ ಪೀಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟೆ ಅವ್ರ ಕೈಲಿ. ಎಷ್ಟು ತೂಕ ಇದೆ? 10 ಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಇದೆ. ವಿಜಯ ಹೈಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಅಂತ ಬರೆದೆ. ಇವಾಗ ಎಷ್ಟಿರ್ಬೋದು ಸರ್? 9 ಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಐ ಯೂಸ್ 1 ಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಚಾಕ್ ಪೀಸ್ ಟು ರೈಟ್ ಆನ್ ದಿ ಬೋಲ್. ದೆನ್ ದಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ವಾಸ್, ಹೌ ಮೆನಿ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ದೇರ್ ಟು ರೈಟ್ ನೇಮ್ ಆಫ್ ವಿಜಯ ಹೈಸ್ಕೂಲ್? ಮೋಲ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಲೆಕ್ಕ ಬರುತ್ತದು. ಒಬ್ಬ ಪೇಷಂಟ್ಗೆ 1 ಸ್ಪೂನ್ ಸಕ್ಕರೆ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಶುಗರ್ ಪೇಷಂಟಿಗೆ ತೋರಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ನು ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಶುಗರ್ ತೊಗೊಳ್ಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ. 1 ಸ್ಪೂನ್ ಆಫ್ ಸಕ್ಕರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸಕ್ಕರೆ ಇರೋದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಬೆಳೆಸ್ತೀವಿ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಫಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಆಪರೇಷನ್ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಥಿಂಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ದಿ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೈನ್ಸ್, ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ಲಿ ದಿ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್, ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ which can develop the structures of thinking in the mind. The problem solving is the highest ability that can be developed over schooling. Therefore, in India, at present, science education should be given in its true form, through experiment, observation, classification, identifying the variables, controlling the variables, subjecting to experimentation. ಇದಾದರೆ ಫಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಆಪರೇಷನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ಗೆ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಫಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಆಪರೇಷನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ಗೆ ಔಪಚಾರಿಕ ಚಿಂತನೆ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ವಿತ್ ವಿಚ್ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟಿ ಗೋ ಟುಗೆದರ್ ವಿತ್ ಸ್ಪೀಡ್, ಅಕ್ಯುರಸಿ. ಅದು ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಬೇರೆ ಲೆಕ್ಚರ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಅದು ಬಂದುಬಿಟ್ರೆ ನೀನು ಯಾವ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದು. ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಎ ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ಲಾಯರ್, ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಎ ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ಚಾರ್ಟರ್ಡ್ ಅಕೌಂಟೆಂಟ್, ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಎ ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್. ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ I think even we should impress upon the government, for all these courses, BCom, BM, etc., science education, a minimum level of conversion, the concrete operation process of thinking to formal operation should become compulsory. Unfortunately, there are many streams. Science is separated from commerce in the PUC level itself. That they should have done later. Science education should become common for them. Therefore, now what I want to say is, science education is basic. Ability development is basic for decision making. Decision making ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ? ಒಂದು ಫೆಟಲಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಡಿಸಿಷನ್ ಮೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಇದೆ. ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ. ಫೆಟಲಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಡಿಸಿಷನ್ ಮೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಬಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾಪಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಯಾವುದು ಬಸ್ ಬರದೇನೆ ಹೋದರೆ, ಕೊನೆಗೊಂದು ಬಸ್ ಬಂದರೆ ಯಾರೇ ಕಡೆ ಹೋಗಲಿ ಹತ್ಬಿಡೋಣ ನಾನು. ಕೆಲಸ ಸಿಗದೆ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಕೆಲಸಕ್ಕೆ ಸೇರ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡೋದು. ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಬಾಲಲ್ಲಿ ಧೋನಿ 6 ರನ್ ಹೊಡಿಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಎಸ್ಬಿಡೋದು, ಜೋರಾಗಿ ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ ಬೀಸ್ಬಿಡೋದು. ಫೆಟಲಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಡಿಸಿಷನ್ ಮೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಅದು ಯಾವ ಸ್ಕೂಲು ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ. ಪ್ರೆಸ್ಟೀಜ್ ಸಜೆಷನ್ ಇದೆ. ಪಾಪ ಪ್ರೆಸ್ಟೀಜ್ ಸಜೆಷನ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಟ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ ದೊಡ್ಡವರು. ಆ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಟ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಮಾಡೋದು ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬರು ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಮನೇಲಿ ನಾವು ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತೀವಿ. ಪಾಪ ವಾಜಪೇಯಿಗೆ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಟ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಕೈ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡ್ತು.